Hollywood, 1947. A land of neon lights, silver screens, and broken dreams. Elizabeth Short was just another girl from the East Coast, chasing the ghost of stardom in the hills of Los Angeles. But on January 15, 1947, the dream turned into the ultimate Hollywood nightmare. A mother, walking with her child through a vacant lot in Leimert Park, thought she saw a discarded mannequin lying in the grass. She was wrong. It was the body of Elizabeth Short. The scene was unlike anything the LAPD had ever witnessed. The body was severed in two, cleanly and professionally. There was no blood at the scene, suggesting she had been killed elsewhere and dumped. But the most haunting detail was her face. The killer had carved a permanent ear-to-ear grin into her cheeks, a gruesome mask that would haunt the city for decades. The press smelled blood and immediately turned the tragedy into a media circus. They gave her a name that would live in infamy, the Black Dahlia. Every newspaper in the country carried her face on the front page, and the hunt for the monster was on. Then, the killer decided to join the conversation. A mysterious package arrived at the Los Angeles Examiner. Inside were Elizabeth's personal belongings, her private photos, her birth certificate, and her address book, all cleaned with gasoline to remove any trace of fingerprints. Accompanying them was a chilling letter made of cut-out magazine characters. It read, "Here is Dahlia's belongings. Letter to follow." The police questioned thousands. From lonely soldiers to wealthy businessmen, everyone was a suspect, but no one was the killer. One name stood out from the darkness: Dr. George Hodel, a brilliant surgeon with a dark side and a terrifying connection to the victim. Years later, his own son, an LAPD detective, would find evidence in a secret basement. Photos and recordings that suggested his father was the monster the city feared. But the evidence was always just out of reach. The file grew thicker, the strings on the detective's board grew longer, and the truth remained hidden behind a web of corruption and secrets. Witnesses disappeared, leads went cold. The Black Dahlia was slowly becoming a ghost story, whispered in the shadows of Hollywood. Elizabeth Short wanted to be famous. In death, she became immortal, but she paid the ultimate price for her name in lights. 70 years later, the FBI file is still open. The trail has vanished, and the killer walked away into the thick California fog. Who was he? A doctor? A socialite? Or someone we have never even heard of? The mystery remains. Join us on Dusk Dossier as we unseal the next cold case.